Hello everyone. Today's topic of the weekend is about culture of the company, and really thinking about how do you build a great culture in your company, and how important is it, as the business grows. Clearly, from my perspective, culture was integral both to the company that I'm CEO of now, and also my other companies that I've kind of run. And really, part of the strategy of the company was building a really amazing culture in the company. Today we're just going to briefly talk about, how you build a great culture. And really the start of it does come from you, as a founder of the business, because, you set the culture in terms of your personality, in terms of how you behave. And really, having this kind of ability to say, well, what am I actually about? What's important to me? What type of company do I want to build? And then kind of developing the behaviors of the people around you, and your ethos kind of creates the culture in the company. And of course, the standards that you put out into the business in terms of work standards, behavioral standards, also translate into culture as well. As I explained in my previous kind of video, ASOS, their strategy is to build a great culture. And the CEO, Nick Bainton, is on the record as saying, big financial strategies are great, but actually my core strategy for my company is to have an amazing culture, because I want to attract the best talent in the market. So the starting point for a great culture is the top, the management team and the founders of the business, their values and how they behave, which kind of leads quite nicely on to the second really important part of culture, which is setting a set of values for the company. I've always documented those values and tried to sort of be really clear, because it almost sets the vision, it falls around, what sort of company are you trying to create? And I put my values up in my last company and my current company at GP Nutrition. The values of the business are right up on the wall. And here they are, you can see them. I'll quickly drop them into this video. And as soon as people walk in, they see the values of the company, and that in itself, the values of the business instill and create culture in the company, because they in themselves are behaviors that you want to instill in amongst all the people around you. So if you look at the 5-6 values that we have here, some of them are really core, to the business. A sense of urgency, speaking for the sector, not just for yourself as a company. Having a sense of professionalism, wanting to be the best, as individuals. Again, how you behave as a founder is critical to that. And these values are, really important for people to see and feel as they come into your company. The third point, which I think is really important for me, is I reviewed my people and I hired people on the back of whether they met the values of my company. So, when I was hiring people, I thought to myself, do they have a sense of urgency about them? Give me some examples of where you've moved quickly, to make decisions. And secondly, what's your true character like? Do you want to be the best at what you want to do? Are you a perfectionist? Do you really get attention to detail? Do I actually want to sit down and have a coffee with this person and actually sit down outside of work? Because being professional and being nice as a person, I've always felt was really important to me when I was hiring people. So these values translate into how you hire people and how you review people. I felt that was really important, as I went through the journey of my business. So it's quite simple, really. It takes a little bit of time, because you've got to sort of look at yourself and go, right, what are the 4 or 5 things that are really important to me? I then, shared those values with my management team and said, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I think we ought to behave. And you kind of get together as a team, and you sort of think, well, that one feels right. Maybe we ought to add and slightly change this other one, perhaps shorten a couple of them. But you then kind of create this set of values that you agree on, that you then kind of put in stone, in the business, and you kind of abide by them. And then I have always said, those values need to go up on the wall. People need to see them, both in reception, if you have a reception at work, up in the offices. If you have a warehouse, it should go up in the warehouse. If you have stores, it should be behind the scenes in the staff room, so that people really feel those values, as a business. And of course, you've got to stick with them. It's really important that you're seen to really act out what those values of the business are. So interested in your thoughts, as my network. What's your views on culture? How do you build a great culture? How do you make it dynamic? How do you create a high performing culture in your company? I'd be really interested in views, opinions, and look forward to hearing from you. Comments in the feed as always. Thanks very much.